Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Narayana Parayana Jadankaranashana Rupanugamrita Prema Prejanayate Namaha. First of all, I want to offer my heart millions of times at the lotus feet of my beloved Srila Gurudev, Srila Prem Prayojan Prabhu, to my Param Gurudev, and to all the Gurus in an unbroken line going back to Sri Krishna, God Himself. So today we want to talk about the second verse of the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We first start with the Sanskrit. Sri Bhagavan Uvaja Kutastva Kashmalam Idam Vishami Samupastitam Anarya Jushtam Asvargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. Bhagavan, this is a name for the Supreme Lord. So Bhagavan, the Supreme Person, said, "My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting for a man who knows the progressive values of life. They do not lead to higher planets, but to infamy." So we see here Krishna is referred to as Bhagavan. And throughout the Bhagavad Gita we will hear this name again and again. It's another meaning for the Supreme Person, or Bhagavan means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this Bhagavan can be realized in three aspects, namely the Brahman effulgence. This is the all-pervading aspect of God. And we see many spiritual traditions, especially nowadays, they focus on realizing that. And for example, we can take Buddhists or yogis who doing yoga practice and then do meditation. They try to empty their mind of all thoughts and stop identifying with all thoughts, and then they just have a complete peaceful mind, and then they can realize this all-pervading aspect of God. But this is compared to only a very small part of God. Actually, it's very impersonal. So we can make the example of the sun planet. The sun planet has the sun rays coming to us. So someone who knows the sun rays, he doesn't know much about the sun planet at all, actually. So he's compared to a Buddhist or some yogi, huh? So the next aspect of God is the super soul called Paramatma. He is an expansion of Krishna, and he resides in the heart of all living entities. This aspect of God is more difficult to realize, and it's more personal, but not the original personality, huh? Not because it's an expansion of Krishna, for the sake of the universe, and it's an opulent expansion of Krishna. So he has 4 arms, and he can be realized through meditation, but also bhakti needs to be included in that. So like this, and so bhakti means devotion needs to be included. And so this Paramatma aspect is compared to the surface of the sun. So beyond that aspect of God is Krishna, meaning the source of all other expansions of God. And he has all aspects like beauty, fame, uh, richness, mm, renunciation, all to the highest degree, knowledge also. But where Krishna originally resides in Vrindavan, there all these aspects are completely forgotten. Why? Because there only love and beauty are the main factors. No other, there's no capacity to focus on anything else, because the beauty and the sweetness of Krishna and of all the inhabitants of of Vrindavan is so high that all these other aspects like knowledge, richness, renunciation, they are completely forgotten, and there's a pure loving exchange, a pure exchange of love in between those residents and Krishna. Yes. So this is then compared to the sun, to the inner regions of the sun. And only very, very few people can realize that. So let's look back at the verse. It says, "Oh, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the progressive values of life. They do not lead to higher planets, but to infamy." So why Krishna is saying this to Arjuna? Because Arjuna, he stands there on the battlefield, and um, he's a kshatriya. This means he's a warrior, and he should he should fight for the good, so that the bad king who is a very bad person, so that he can can be kicked from the throne from Arjuna. So, but Arjuna does not want to fight, because on the other side there is his spiritual teacher, there is his grandfather and his uncles and friends. So imagine you would need to fight and kill your own family members. Is such a difficult situation for Arjuna, no? But Krishna says, what do you do, huh? How have these impurities come upon you? They are not befitting for someone who knows the values of life. They don't lead to higher planets, but to infamy. So, mm, first of all, we need to say that this attitude of Arjuna is very unfavorable for both transcendental happiness and for mundane happiness. Mm, And we need to look at the reason why Arjuna thinks he does not need to fight. So the reason for that is that Arjuna thinks like this because he thinks that ahimsa, this means non-violence, is the highest religious principle. So according to that, if that would be the case, then he would not need to fight. But actually it's not the fact. And that's why Krishna says, how have these impurities come upon you? Instead, Arjuna should engage in his duty because he has the qualities of a warrior. His nature is like a warrior. So we see in this world so many people have different natures. According to that, they feel attracted to some specific job, some life situation, and so on. So some are warriors by nature, and so Arjuna, it's his nature to fight, and if he can engage engage his nature in the cause of bringing good to all humanity and for religious principles, so that humankind will have the chance to practice religious life because of him, then of course he needs to engage in his duty. And on the other hand, if he would not do his duty, but instead, like he says, "Oh, I don't want to fight, I rather go to the forest and renounce everything and meditate," oh, it would be very, very bad for Arjuna. Why? Because he's not, you have to know, the society was deviated in 4 parts according to the natures of each person. One uh, one begot a role in society. So there are brahmanas, they are by nature very self-composed, and they can they are not attached to material things too much, to enjoying their senses. They are renounced. But Arjuna is not of that nature. Like I said, he's a warrior by nature. So if he would try to go to the forest and meditate, I mean, he could not really do it. So that's why Krishna says, no, you have to engage in your duty. I mean, Arjuna, because Krishna talks to him, so he receives this pure knowledge because he is Krishna's friend. So actually, if he would go to the forest, he might be even able to just meditate on Krishna all the time. But to show us, for us conditioned souls who have no realization of Krishna, to show us the path to Krishna, he explains that, he shows by, Krishna explains to him that he should engage in the war according to his duty. Because if we don't follow our duty in life, and we try to follow another man's duty, like it is said in Bhagavad Gita also, then there will be no good result. It is better to try to follow one's own duty, and one may not succeed, than to try to follow another man's duty. That is the verse. So, like this, that's an important point. Hmm. So then also Duryodhan, no, Dhritarashtra. Yes, Dhritarashtra, who is hearing all the news from the battlefield from Sanjay. He was actually very pleased when he heard Arjuna shows those religious sentiments and does not want to fight, because he thought, oh, well, very nice. then I will just win the battle without fighting. But he didn't know that Krishna is the friend of Arjuna, and Krishna would not give up. Krishna would speak all transcendental knowledge to Arjuna, and by this he purified his intelligence, and then Arjuna knew exactly what to do. And it was not that Arjuna killed the soldiers then. Actually, they were already, it was already determined that they will die. Arjuna actually only then became an instrument of Krishna's grace. Jai Ho. Srila Gurudeva ki jai, Shri Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Antakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna.
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakta